With the end of the season looming, there's a lot of speculation whether some of the biggest players in the world will be moving clubs. And today I've picked 5 of those players and I want to talk about where and why I think they will go. And I think there's no better place to start than with the England captain, Harry Kane. If you want to see me talk about more real life football stuff like this video, then please smash the like button. 500 likes and I'll do another one. And let me know down in the comments if there's anything you'd like me to talk about, any types of topics. It's a risk not really doing anything Football Manager based on my channel, so your feedback is very crucial in this. So yes, let's start with Harry Kane. He's put in a good 5 or 6 years, maybe even more time at Spurs, and yet he still hasn't won a major trophy. And we've seen that clip back not so long ago where he says he wants to win as many trophies. And I think he's ambitious enough.
Just got to keep working hard, learn from it, and try and finish the season strong now.
To make that a factor in wanting to leave. He has won golden boots in the Premier League, so individually he's done his job, and I think he'll feel quite hard done by that the rest of the team or maybe the management around him hasn't managed to help him win a trophy. And now he is considered one of the best strikers in the world. He is 27 years of age. There's not a lot of time left at the very top. A footballer's career is very short, and I think he wants to make the most out of it for club football as well as country. Of course, he wants to win something with England, and I think it is time for him to leave. And there's a lot of speculations on whether he will move this summer. Where though, there's only a few teams in the world who can potentially afford to take him from Spurs, with Daniel Levy being very tight with transfers in the past, and I still think he would be with his prize asset in Harry Kane. He's going to want way above 100 million, I personally think, to price him away, and also to pay his wages. There's not a lot of clubs around the world who would do that and give him what he wants in regards to trophies. There's talks about him going Madrid, maybe PSG, Barcelona, who I don't think have the money anymore. I personally think is going to be Manchester City. I think they are the most appealing offer and the most appealing team for him. It means he doesn't have to move country. I think he would like to play in the style of Pep Guardiola, and I also think Pep Guardiola sees him as a perfect fit for his club in regards to what Man City want going forward and how Pep plays around in his tactic and his style of play with Harry Kane's creativity. We know Pep likes that kind of false nine, what Lionel Messi was at Real Madrid, and kind of what Thomas Muller maybe was in regards to somebody who score the goals but also provide a lot of that. And that's what Harry Kane does. He brings players into action, and I think if he did decide to leave, Manchester City would be a place where he would definitely win trophies. The probability of this happening, in my opinion, I personally think is 75%. What about you? And just to incorporate a little bit of Football Manager, I decided to do a quick simulation with Harry Kane at Manchester City, and although he got an 8 average rating, he only managed to score 9 goals and got 6 assists. Not a lot. He got a lot more in cup competitions, 19 goals in total. Maybe Manchester City fans, if he did get Harry Kane, would expect a lot more than just 9 Premier League goals. Now, there's non-stop rumours going on about Erling Haaland leaving Borussia Dortmund, and that Borussia Dortmund are actually fine with him going. I think the way that they see it is that they need to kind of cash in because they won't be able to afford his next contract. Being that it's only another 3 years until he is coming up to a contract renewal, I don't think they would rather cash in on him now, knowing that he is at his peak price probably, than he would be maybe in a year or two's time when they would get a lot less money for him because he has a lot less time on his contract. I think now is the perfect time for Dortmund to let him go. He's had 1.5 very good seasons there where he has shown that he is probably one of the best strikers in the world, and he is only 20 years of age. He can do it on the highest level, and now I think it's up to him whether he wants to do that and wants to make that big move, and he does come across as somebody who wants to win a lot of trophies. He has Mino Raiola as his agent. We all know as a super agent who has managed to win some of the biggest contracts ever and some of the biggest transfers ever to some of the biggest characters ever in football. Now, Erling Haaland doesn't come across as one of those characters, but maybe he is kind of looking for that big transfers in his and be kind of like a mercenary player in his career. Now, what I think is the most interesting part of this, and the politics of this is where he's going to go. A lot of people say about the Spanish clubs, can they afford him? Barcelona are in so much debt, I really don't think they will have the money. Real Madrid have some money, I don't think they have enough to bring in Erling Haaland. I'm not quite sure about that. PSG is an option, and I genuinely could see him go to PSG. However, there's a lot of rumours around Manchester United right now, and although being a Man United fan, of course, I'd love Erling Haaland, I don't know whether that will come into play, but there are a lot of things going towards that. Manchester United have an aging Edison Cavani right now who, yes, he's been fantastic for us, but he can't play every single game. He might be a great impact sub if we ever sign Erling Haaland to have both of them there. Because outside of Edison Cavani, we don't have an out-and-out striker. Now, Ollie obviously has spent some time with Haaland at Mulder, and they seem to have built up quite a nice little relationship. Ollie spoke about him nicely in the past.
Who weren't interested in him a year ago? Because everyone would say you'd take the best players in the world, and Erling is a top player.
Erling Haaland spoke about Ollie quite nicely in the past as well. But the only thing that goes against this is his dad. His dad had his career ended by Roy Keane at Manchester City, and he also played for Leeds, two clubs who obviously don't like Manchester United. And he's a Leeds fan, I think, Erling Haaland. I believe he's a Leeds fan, so I don't know whether that will come into play, or whether he puts business over pleasure or pleasure over business, whether he would see Manchester United as an option. That being said, I still think the probability of this transfer is around about 40%. Now, we did run a simulation, like with Harry Kane, with Erling Haaland at Manchester United. He looks great in the red, and he scored 19 goals and 9 assists with 4 player of the matches. That's a lot better than the Harry Kane incident at Manchester City. 19 goals in total in the Premier League, as his first season might not be his best after the season he's about to have at Dortmund, but I'd still want him at my club if he scored 19 goals and got 9 assists. Now, speaking of Manchester United, they have a former player who has a lot of hype about maybe another big move for him in Memphis Depay. Now, the Dutch winger / striker has kind of rejuvenated his career at Lyon after a very bad move to Manchester United, which didn't go as planned, being that he was really anticipated as being the next big thing, like the next Ronaldo, for instance, when we signed him, and I think he was a Manchester United fan as well, so it was kind of heart-wrenching that it didn't work out. And he moved to Lyon, and he started rejuvenating his career and becoming the world-class player that we all thought we seen previously at PSV that he could potentially be. His potential needs this move now, I think, to restart. All the hype around him, it needs to rejuvenate this hype, I think, making another big move. United do have a buyback clause. I don't know whether that's still into play, whether they will ever activate that, or whether that has vanished now or run its course. I'm not sure, but I genuinely think PSG might be the team that Memphis Depay ends up at. Being that they are in Ligue 1 and PSG haven't really had the best of seasons with, it looks like, Leo and Lyon and themselves battling up the top there, I think he could be a really good option for PSG. He's still really young. He's only 27 years of age. He still has 3 or 4 years at the top. Neymar is obviously there, and it could be a guy to contend with now and push Neymar a little bit more. Not to mention he can also play in across the front three or up top. He's been playing up front for Lyon and doing really well, scoring a lot of goals, and that could be something that we see employed with Depay at the top, Neymar on the left, and Mbappe on the right hand side. I'm not quite sure what Pochettino's plans are for next season. That could be a good option, but I think PSG may see it that it's an already proven player in that league. He's already doing really well. It wouldn't cost as much money as targets such as Erling Haaland, and it would weaken the rivals for PSG. It would literally weaken Lyon. Would you risk that? I think that's a good option in my opinion. And the possibility of this happening, I think it could be around about the 50% mark. Depending on what money they give Pochettino, this could be a very viable target for PSG, and one that I wouldn't mind seeing myself. Now, we did do a simulation with Memphis Depay at PSG. He played 35 games, 29 starts. He got 11 goals, 4 assists and 5 player of the matches. A very high average rating in a PSG team which managed to carry on and win the league. That might be the reason why they do it. Now, since Thomas Tuchel's appointment at Chelsea, one man has fell out of favour in Tammy Abraham. It seems like Tuchel has set up his side to play more of a false nine approach, with Kai Havertz, Timo Werner and Mason Mount being his front three that he wants to deploy, and Tammy Abraham not even making like a cup team now, which is a shame because he started off very well in his career at Chelsea and seemed to be like their next option. He had some great appearances, even in the FA Cup this year. He played really well and put in some good performances. So there are a lot of talks that he wants to move away, and teams like Newcastle, Villa and West Ham all coming into contention of signing the young Englishman, who obviously wants to keep his place in the England national team, and he won't get that, unfortunately, unless he gets game time with so many players coming through and playing really well for England. So there is a team that I think has been rumoured that I think maybe might have an outside chance of signing Tammy Abraham in AC Milan. Now, this is an interesting one because AC Milan, obviously, there's not a lot of English players who go abroad. There has been a few recently in Jadon Sancho and Jude Bellingham, and they have started thriving. Players that didn't think that they... well, Bellingham was getting a few game time, but Jadon Sancho was really an unheard name until he moved to Dortmund and is now one of the biggest stars, one of the biggest wingers in the world anyway. And I think with Milan having just one aging Zlatan at the age of 40, although he doesn't really age because it's Zlatan, Tammy Abraham's only 23. He could be a long-term choice for AC Milan. That first season, bed him in, swap him out with Zlatan, see what works best. Maybe it could be an option that he could be the number one choice going forward after Zlatan either leaves or retires, because there's also rumours of him leaving as well. He's now seen other English talents, like I mentioned, and he wants to keep his spot. He also has the stature that I think suits the Italian league, and I think his gameplay and his style of play might suit Serie A football. AC Milan might have to put their hands in their pockets, maybe 40 to 50 million, maybe even more for Tammy Abraham. I'm not sure what's your opinion on that. Personally, I think a probability of around about 75% that he will definitely leave Chelsea, but I think maybe 30% that it will be AC Milan will be the choice that he goes to. Now, it does look like Sergio Aguero's tenure at Manchester City is coming to an end, with his contract running out this season, and he's kind of starting to say his goodbyes already on what is a fantastic career in the Premier League, one of the best strikers we have ever seen, and I'm saying that as a Manchester United fan when he broke our hearts in 2012. Aguero! However, I can see talent despite my favouritism to one club, and he has been one of the best strikers in the world, and I still personally think in recent performances we've seen him at his best still. Despite being 33, a move really is quite intriguing because Atletico Madrid, who is his former team, they already have three really good strikers in Morata, Luis Suarez, Correa, and I think they even have like Dembele there, so maybe four strikers that they have. Sergio Aguero doesn't really have a spot there, so he would just be again sat on the bench like he would be at Manchester City. I do think Spain is his option to go to because it's a lot slower game, and as an aging player it might suit him. And personally, I don't know, what do you think of a Barcelona move? Because I mean, hear me out, Barcelona are starting to drop off in regards to the contention for La Liga. Atletico Madrid are actually one of the teams who are pushing for that with Real Madrid. Barcelona have had a few bad seasons now, and they don't have a lot of money. It's been widely well known that they are in a lot of debt, and I really could see him going to Barcelona on the basis that they won't have to pay a transfer fee. All they would do is have to pay a wage budget, and I think Aguero would be happily to take a slight wage cut, knowing that he would go to Barcelona, play a lot of football, and play with one of his best friends and his closest companions in Lionel Messi, who I do think is his godparent to his son. So I think that kind of fits quite well, and they are struggling for money. Like I mentioned, they do only really have Antoine Griezmann as their main striker at Barcelona, who really is a winger at heart. He was just more transformed into a striker whilst at Barcelona. So it could be a good option for them and for Sergio Aguero for the next season to buy back a bit of fans as well. He's a world-class player, well-known player, and Aguero may want that on his resume that he played for Barcelona and of course played with one of his friends, his Argentinian teammate Lionel Messi in his last year. It could be another way of keeping Lionel Messi happy, which we haven't considered because Barcelona, their new president come in and said, we are going to keep Lionel Messi. How do you keep him happy? Well, bring over one of his best friends, Sergio Aguero. Here you go. Here's one of your friends to play up front with him. That could be a good option. The probability of this happening, in my opinion, I think could be around 40 to 50%. I'm going to say 40% because I don't exactly know what Sergio Aguero wants to do. There's been talks of him going to the MLS. There's been talks of him going to PSG as that option of a free transfer. And of course, going back to former clubs as well. I do think it will be out of the Premier League. I can't see him going to any other club in the Premier League. He'll be loyal to Manchester City, but I don't think he'll be as loyal to to Atletico Madrid as he is to Manchester City. I think Barcelona could be the place. Now, we did run a simulation with Sergio Aguero and Barcelona as well. He got 14 goals in 29 appearances, 24 starts. I think if you offered that to both Barcelona and Sergio Aguero, he would be over the moon, to be honest. If you got 24 starts, 5 appearances off the bench in your 33rd year of your life, I think he would be very happy. So there we have it. What do you make of these 5 transfer rumours? Are there any other transfers that you think might happen? Let me know down in the comments what your opinions are on where all these 5 players will end up. Remember to smash a like on the video if you want to see me do more in real life stuff just like this. I hope you enjoyed it nonetheless. Please smash that subscribe if you haven't done so already. And viewers, I'll see you very soon for another one. Thank you very much. Bye bye.